Did the High Court do the right thing by ordering the closure of the migrant hotel in Epping? In this video, Mike Graham and Jeremy Kyle analyze the ruling and its ripple effects on local communities. We'll also discuss the principle of authentic leadership and its role in addressing such issues. Before we get into the details, if you love diving into political issues and enjoy hearing a principled take on them, then hit the like button, share this video, and subscribe to join the conversation. It will help our channel reach a wider audience.
Not looking like Keir Starmer in a minute.
Oh, he just said it right in his ear, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I can't eat anything when I'm going to go on the air because otherwise I just spit stuff everywhere. So the only thing I can eat without...
You should learn to swallow.
Yes, the crumbs I'm talking about. You know,
I was going to say, why did Jodie turn around at that particular
I don't know.
moment?
I can eat a banana. So the only thing I can eat is a banana because it's soft enough that it doesn't...
But you've gone quite healthy. I mean, we just did some photos, but
Yeah.
we should say something subtly.
Yes.
You're going away next week.
I am.
And for 4 days, you unlucky people, I'm doing
lucky
breakfast.
People. Yes.
Starting next Friday.
Yes.
Wake up.
You'll be great. You'll love it, won't you?
I used to do it.
I know.
For a long time. So we're going to do that. And then on Thursday, we're going to have a little announcement, aren't we?
We are going to have a little
Fingers
announcement,
crossed.
yes.
Quite exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting.
And the reason I brought that up is we just did a photo shoot and you have changed immeasurably on this banana-eating, working out diet thing.
Well, the thing is, I just, for no particular reason, I got sort of pointed in the direction of this personal trainer guy, and somebody said to me, why don't you go and give it a go? And I'd never been in a gym in my life.
No.
I never thought I ever would, because I thought people who go to gyms are boring types, I'd rather be in the pub. But then I suddenly realised, well, hold on a minute, get on a bit now. And,
if I spend a bit of time in the gym, I can spend more time in the pub.
And I can still go to the pub, but I'll still be relatively healthy. And I started doing it, and I suddenly really liked it. And and he's brilliant. And his name's Arthur. He's from Latvia.
He's called Arthur, isn't he?
But he's one of the guys. We talk about this all the time with the girls downstairs who came from Poland, made a business. This is exactly what he's done.
Absolutely.
And he works every single hour when he finishes in the gym.
I'm prouder probably of being in this country.
Very proud of being in this country.
Absolutely.
He's paying his taxes. He's he's working very, very hard. When he goes home, he's got 2 more businesses that he's trying to run. A proper ambitious immigrant who wants to come to this country and make something of himself.
And that's very salient.
And those are the people that we want here.
And to be fair, let's make a point that people say we don't make on talk enough, which is that this country has always welcomed and should always welcome people who enhance. Enhance is my word of the day. And bring value to this country.
Absolutely.
But what we have now is migrants, illegal migrants, who don't enhance this country. They spend their entire time bashing this country, trying to change this country, trying to implement stuff that we were told they wanted to get away from. And committing crime and ripping us off financially. And when you say that, people go, oh, it's a bit harsh. It's not, it's true, isn't it?
And menacing and molesting our women. I'm sorry to say that, but that's what they're doing. Many of them have been charged.
It's not just you said that. Baroness Casey said that. The Labour government have said that.
Statistics say it. We now know from which countries these men are coming who are most likely to commit those kinds of sexual attacks. And it's there in black and white. You can't deny it anymore.
Really interesting. Yesterday, just as the show started, we grabbed you in. It was fantastic. That massive news about Epping. You said it this morning on breakfast. We were pretty likely to believe that a tsunami, excuse the pun, of councils. Now there's 12 reform councils, we reckon, and Nigel's already said that's going to happen. Broxbourne Council last night, a Tory council, taking legal action because under the premise of Epping, every single council could say to the government, we don't want these migrants. And I thought Peter made a really good point. Interestingly, in the last 15 minutes, Labour-run Wirral Council are considering legal action. When you've got a Labour council listening to the people who voted them because they want to keep their jobs and going against what their own government is saying, then you're in for change.
Well, you can tell the mood of the nation has visibly and quite remarkably switched, right? It's gone from being sort of, hands in your pockets, things aren't so great. What's the point? I go to work. People are now thinking, hang on a minute, we can actually stop this. We can change this. We can get, because I was talking to Ryan, your producer, if more and more of these hotels have to be shut down, where are all these people going to go? There's nowhere for them to go.
Be deported. That'll be the next thing.
Be deported, put in a camp, not in a house.
Detention centre. Seriously,
army barracks, somewhere, anywhere, but not in hotels.
But don't throw the veterans out, as I've heard, which makes me sick.
Exactly. And the point is, the government is going to have to realise. And Starmer, I haven't been monitoring his Twitter today. Starmer has still never really acknowledged this is a problem.
His hand will be forced. And what's I understand the fear. By the way, people are saying, they're still going to be in communities, and it's dangerous. I get that. But I said it to you earlier. I said it yesterday. Great tweet. That guy saying, when the silent majority realise they've been heard, they will now know that there is a majority of people in this country that not just don't want these people in these hotels, they don't want them in social housing.
No.
And if they're criminals and unvetted, we don't want them in our country.
Exactly.
So the pressure will build and build. And in fact, Starmer is in a position I'm sure he didn't ever think he was going to be in. But it comes from not having done anything at all to sort it out.
And in fact, it's worse than that, actually encouraging more people to come. Because one of the things that he did with his one in, one out process is
I thought it was 17 in and one out.
Well, it's actually been 2,500 in and none out since he announced it, right? But what he's basically done, and I said this at the time, is he's created more demand now because people have got the idea that if they get to Calais and they can prove that they know somebody in Britain, which is not that hard to do, they can get here legally. So they won't even have to take a small boat because, his plan is to kick out the guys who don't belong here and then to replace them with somebody else. It's madness.
It's utter madness, and I think that their policy is in tatters. The
whole government is in tatters.
Yeah, I agree. Did you the flag thing we were talking about earlier? We were talking about on Plank, which is out Friday, 7:00. Fantastic episode, I've got to say. Police are investigating St George's Cross being painted roundabout. Not people being raped or attacked or burgled or having their shops ransacked. Police have launched an investigation after St George's Cross was painted on a mini roundabout. This is in Grove in Worcestershire. The video has been shared amid a growing movement that has seen members of the public display patriotic flags in towns and cities. West Mercia Police confirmed that it was investigating it as criminal damage and graffiti.
Do me a favour.
The government's responsibility is to ensure that its citizens feel safe and secure. No government has a right to pressure their people or force them to accept decisions against their will. That's not democracy. Authentic leadership is about finding common ground with the people, not imposing top-down control. An authentic leader seeks compromise, listens to concerns, and builds trust through open dialogue. In contrast, an inauthentic leader resorts to suppression, ignoring the people's voice. To lead authentically, governments must prioritize policies that reflect the needs and aspirations of their citizens. This means securing borders responsibly and creating opportunities for high living standards, always with the people's well-being at heart. Authentic leadership is about inspiring trust and making decisions that truly serve the people. What do you think? How can we encourage more authentic leadership today? Share your thoughts in the comment. If you have benefited in any way from this video, please subscribe, like, share, and be sure to leave us a comment.